So we do keep records. I mean, it is, well, it's not exactly funny, you know, because
they keep records.
We're talking about a country where, I think somebody put it rightly on this program when the person said that when corruption is most felt when, you know, you fail to get delivery at the point of service.
Yes.
And it is, you know, you talked about civil servants, you know, being the one who implement government policies.
Yes.
If the civil servant is corrupt, or if the civil servant is not doing what he or she is supposed to do, then it means the public doesn't get service.
The private sector cannot be efficient.
Exactly. The people don't get service from the government because they were saying that they are the link between themselves and government. So the question is, how do we begin to ensure that there is some sanity? And it's not just it's a force of moral example enough, for instance.
You see, if you follow what I'm saying, you see, we're isolating the civil service, forgetting that.
Because we're talking about them now.
Yes, I know we're talking about them now. But we must look in finding a solution. We must look at the civil service within the context of their public servants. And it depends on how their ministers, what does the minister want? What does the head of state want? Once they can get out of that, once and for all, that the moment, because you hold a different view, nobody will now say, I remove you. They can, when they have a freedom to express their mind, not, you see, a civil servant knows that his limit is to advise. He doesn't think he's supposed to impose his views.
But that looks different. Because you've had people who have said consistently, and as much as we hate to say this on national television, they say, look, they want to get some things done. They get to civil service, their files are there, rather than pass it through different stages. One person doesn't just lock it up in
No, I agree with you that there was corruption.
So that you can listen, they take the file home. And they take the file home, and the pressure is, look, whichever office you get into, I'm talking about the states.
Yes, even though
if you don't do certain things, you don't see.
Yes, that's corruption. That's why we are fighting.
If their role is to advise, how do you change? Where did that kind of mindset come from?
That was saying, who are their mentors? The people are looking at today. Who are their mentors? You see, go to the professions. Go and find out what is happening. People faking as lawyers, people faking as journalists, people faking as town planners, people faking as architects. You know, who are their mentors? You see, if we professionals, for example, have behaving properly as professionals, this country should not have this problem. I said in a different fora that no corrupt act, I put capital, no corrupt act can be done or concluded without the connivance of a professional. It's not possible. There's an accountant there, or there's a QS there, or there's an engineer there, or something who will help you to. You see, and people, when they are defining professional, because I read a document by Dr. Fayemi. You see, professional goes beyond just having a common knowledge. There's a code of conduct. That's what makes the profession. The two must go together. It's not that because they all have the same knowledge, but there must be a code of conduct. It is that where everybody is missing it, including the Nigerian professional, is in the area of code of conduct.
You know, you talked about, sorry, Chamberlain, but you did to speak about how if the civil servant is given some leeway and, you know, you're not under any threat from either the minister, and what the minister wants is different from what the head of state wants. Now, the president has come under some criticism for not appointing his ministers just yet. Yes. And it would seem that he's dealing more with the permanent secretaries.
Yes.
Is that good or is it bad?
It's not good. Because there cannot be, I mean, the president is one person. He has 24 hours in a day. And I'm sure if by the time the president is a permanent secretary, that person goes to think, this man going to probably not have time to see me again the next month. But if there's a minister that reports there every morning, the president knows that there's a minister is coming. And there have been one or two ministers whom I know in the federal, in the recent, very recent past.
You don't
when
think
when the file gets to them, they look at it and look at how many days it has spent on every officer's table that the file passed through.
You don't think that the fact that the president met with each one of them, he was able to communicate his vision to them, and, you know, tell them very clearly
What I want.
what it is that he wants.
That's what I say it's good, but it shouldn't be too long. Because you need somebody to now oversee them on a daily basis, oversee the ministry on a daily basis. The prime secretary are just holding forth, and a prime secretary that knows his onions will not go beyond it. He will not take decisions.
So if the minister,
there will be a lot of file. Say please, you know, approve, please approve, please approve, and they will pack the file and put it in the minister's table.
if the ministers come in,
Yes,
and say to the civil servants or whichever department they're
yes,
in, and say, look, I'm not interested in you making any returns whatsoever.
That's
I
right.
just want the jobs done.
Beautiful.
Will that help?
And you see the change. You see, the issue of Nigeria is the issue of leadership. What has General Buhari done that the electricity improved? What? No, answer it. What has he done? But he's selling his credibility. He said, that man will not take nonsense from you, so don't try nonsense with him. And we started getting electricity. So, you see, the leadership becomes very important in this whole matter. And so that is why we are lucky. And this is another opportunity that we should not lose with General Buhari. If nobody wants to mess up around with him. And I keep on praying 24 hours a day for him, that God will give him the wisdom to choose people who will share his vision. Because when the politicians now start their drama, I mean, quite a good number of people who sponsored him cannot stand public scrutiny. And they think they have invested money, and therefore this man should benefit them one way or the other. And when all those issues start coming to this matter, his whole good intention could be. But I will continue to pray for him. So
the message is clearly out there. He should know what to do, having been there for a while. But thank you very much for coming on. Olubimi Ajayi is the former president, Association of Professional Bodies of Nigeria, also town planner. I hope we didn't get the opportunity to ask about planning, but I'm sure we'll do in the days ahead. Thank you for coming on today.
My pleasure.
We'll be back after the break. Join us again.